sometimes people say things to me that I'm like, why would you ever say that to another human being, you know? Hey friends, how are you guys doing today? I hope you're doing so well, and I am so excited for today's video because today is a work with me video. I have to do some things down here in the basement in my filming room. I need to take pictures of everything that I showed in my last 2nd Avenue thrift haul video. I took you guys thrifting with me. I found so many hokas. I found a designer dress. I found a lot of amazing pieces, but I need to go through and picture everything. Usually for 2nd Avenue hauls, I know that I'm going to get a lot of requests for items, and so I try to usually take pictures of them and get them listed the same day the video goes out. But I actually went to the bins yesterday, and so I wasn't able to get it around as quickly as I normally do. So today I need to take pictures of everything, and then I'm going to have a chill day of listing. I'm going to probably go upstairs and chill on my couch because I also don't really feel that great. Mostly because I went to the bins yesterday. So I'm going to talk to you guys about that because that was a big mistake. I made a huge mistake when I went to the bins. So I'll tell you about that. We've got a lot of things I wanted to chat with you guys about today. So we're going to talk about some really stupid things people have said to me while I've been thrifting. People can be horrible sometimes, and now I can kind of laugh about it, but sometimes people say things to me that I'm like, why would you ever say that to another human being, you know? Like, it's very bad. Anywho, we'll talk about those things. I'll chat about what happened at the bins yesterday, and I'm gonna take you guys to work with me. So it should be fun. We're making good progress on the basement. Thank you guys for participating in this work with me. If you guys have a project that really intimidates you, this is intimidating for me. I really don't love coming down to my basement when it's in this kind of disarray. There's a lot of things going on. It gives me anxiety, to be honest. And so if you have a project that also does the same thing for you, this is your invitation. Let's do it together. Get on up and do something with me. At least you'll have a little bit more fun while you're doing it. So I'm going to go to the ground. I need to take the tags off of all of my items and then put them on hangers, and then we'll start taking pictures of them as well. And then we'll also chat about how everything went yesterday at the bins because I made a mistake. So I'll see you guys on the ground. Okay, so I just had to run upstairs because I literally could not find my pair of scissors here anywhere. This over here is a pile of stuff I've already taken pictures of that is almost all listed. I just need to put away. Then above me are more things I need to take pictures of, but we're going to start with this bag of things from the 2nd Avenue haul. As I mentioned, let me pour these out. It's going to be loud. Okay, starting with this pile. I guess you can't see it from that angle, but you know what? I promise you it's there. So let's talk about the bins yesterday. So this is what happened. I have talked about pretty openly on my channel. I made a whole video about it, about how I have a chronic illness. So my chronic illness is called autonomic dysfunction, and basically my autonomic nervous system doesn't really work the way it's supposed to, where I pass out a lot, or I feel like I'm going to pass out a lot, and like my blood pressure doesn't raise like normal people's do. And it's also called exercise intolerant sometimes, where when other people's bodies can normally just like, you know, tolerate doing a lot of things that increase your heart rate, increase your blood pressure, my body doesn't do it the same way, and it doesn't usually work the same way. So I recently went back to the doctor, and I've been on medicine again. I haven't been on medicine for this since I was in high school, but I've had a bad flare-up this last year, and so I am now taking medicine again for it. But this is the problem. I was on the highway heading to the bins. I wanted to get there as soon as they opened. So I got in the car. I did lots of things to get ready the night before. I did all this stuff so that I could make it to the bins right when they opened, because I had to drive about an hour to get to the bins. And I was on the highway heading towards the bins, probably about 20 minutes into my drive, when I realized that I did not take my medicine that morning. That was a big mistake. At least for how I've been feeling lately, it was a big mistake. I went probably, you know, like 6 years without taking medicine, and I was fine. But man, the medicine is definitely helping. Now we know that for sure. So I went to the bins, and the bins is pretty much one of the worst places for me when I feel sick, is because you're constantly bending, and one of the hardest positions for me to not pass out in is bending. because you don't even realize, like, even when you're sweeping, whenever you're leaning over like that, it takes a lot of work for your heart and your blood pressure to maintain its levels, and mine doesn't. And so I get lightheaded a lot. And so when I was at the bins, I literally, I felt so sick. I had water with me. I had Gatorade, thankfully. And I had a lot of things. So I felt pretty okay until I probably hit about the 5-hour mark of being in the bins. And then I was done. I was like, oh no, I do not feel good. I like had to rush to the bathroom. I thought I was gonna pass out. The whole thing was not a great experience, but I had a lot of fun. That's the hard part. Like, I love going to the bins and I love like digging for stuff. And I have a lot of fun with it, but man, sometimes it is really hard for me. So that's also one of the reasons why I haven't gone to the bins as much lately. It's just because I've not been feeling super amazing most of the time. So it's easier for me to go to a regular store like 2nd Avenue or something like that, or a Goodwill, because I can, you know, just like leave whenever. My Goodwill outlet is very competitive, and also there's just like a lot of like, you have to move fast, because I know this isn't the case for many Goodwill outlets, but the Goodwill outlet, you know, there's giant bins of clothing that you're rummaging through. And a lot of places will just flip a few bins every few hours. My location, you're not allowed to stay inside the outlet while they're flipping. So they flip the entire store multiple times each day. So there's about an hour and a half period where you're allowed to look through probably about 30 different clothing bins. And then that's it. Like, if you miss something in those bins, you'll never see it again, because they will kick everyone out. They make you check out multiple times throughout the day. So every time they flip the store, you have to check out. And then all those items are going to the landfill after that. So like, there's a lot of pressure about looking through every single bin, trying to find all the clothes you can. And then I almost always am like the last person to check out, because I just want to make sure I find everything, you know? It's really bad if you have FOMO, or the fear of missing out. Like, it's really hard, especially since sometimes at the very end I'll find a really nice designer piece. Like, I have found Gucci dresses there before. I have found Burberry. I have found Chloe. Like, I definitely don't want to miss a small piece, you know, that's hidden. Should not be doing that with the scissors. That's a bad idea. So it's a lot. Anyways, so I was not feeling good, and I literally didn't know if I was going to be able to make it home. I had to drive for an hour. I took a little bit of a rest, and I'm glad I did, because it was a rough time. I came home. I took some ibuprofen. I went and laid in bed. Jeremy came and took care of me, and that was it for me. Took a bath last night. Feel a lot better today, but I'm still not at 100%. I'm just really like worn out from feeling so bad yesterday. Does that make sense? That's a lot about my health, but I mean, I feel like it's good to keep it real, because it's not all sunshine and rainbows when you work for yourself. Like, I'm still doing stuff today, and I don't feel great, but at least I can modify what I'm working on today, so that way I don't have to do anything super intense today. I guess I don't have a ton of intense things in general. Probably the most intense thing is taking pictures, which is sometimes hard for me to do, especially if I have to bend over, but today it should not be that bad. I don't have that many items to go through, and I knew I had to film today, so thank you guys for letting me film a work with me video, because I don't know if I have like the energy and time it will take, and the just like feeling well enough to film a video where I'm like doing a haul or something like that. But oh my gosh, look how beautiful this dress is. I'm obsessed. So yes, that is what happened at the bins. Definitely made a big mistake. Should not have forgotten to take my medicine. That is a big and bad no-no. So took my medicine today, so that's good. And I've been drinking and just resting a lot. So thank you guys for letting me talk about that. But now I'm putting things on hangers. This was very difficult to show in my video, but it's a really cute wrap dress. So I'm gonna get this all ready for the picture. But so that's kind of what happened yesterday at the bins. But while I was like laying in bed last night and just thinking about what happened at the bins, it reminded me of some other stories of things that have happened to me at those bins, and of things that have happened to me just in thrift stores in general. And it's kind of funny now. At the time, I've always just been really upset about things. But at the time, this is what I wanted to talk about next. People say some really awful things to me sometimes when I'm thrifting, or things that are just like so rude, and you would never think to tell somebody else that. about themselves. Like, I would never say some of these things that people say to me to them. I want to talk about that a little bit because people have said some awful things, and it's kind of funny, but it's really not. But I thought it would be kind of entertaining, at least to share with you guys some things that people have said to me that are truly just awful while I've been thrifting. Like, the first one that comes to mind happened at these bins. I was wondering if I was going to see this guy that said this to me there. I didn't see him, thankfully, but, and this is the thing, he's a super nice guy. I think there is a little bit of a cultural barrier there, so it might not have been, like, a bad thing in his culture to say this to me, but it definitely was something that I still think about, and that's not great. So this is from when I was at the bins, and I found a pair of Jean Paul Gaultier pants. Those are still in my closet. They're fabulous, and so I found them in the bin, so I paid like $1 for them, and that was a really exciting find. But I was there with my mom this time. Why do these pants smell so good? Whoever owned these smelled so good. Oh my gosh. I was there with my mom, and I remember being next to my mom, and I was giving this guy like a Calvin Klein or Tommy Hilfiger dress, something that was like not worth me reselling at the time, but something that I knew that he would like, and so I gave it to him. And then while I was handing it to him, I saw that he had a Jean Paul Gaultier bag in his cart, like not like a purse, but like just like a canvas bag, so maybe something that they gave you something in. And so I was like, oh, that's so exciting that you found that. I found a piece from Jean Paul Gaultier too. And he's like, oh, what is it? And so I go into my cart. Now, I am very clearly a clothing reseller. Like, my cart is so full. I have so many different pieces in. My mom's cart is full. And I have been there so many times. I've seen him. I thought he would know that I'm a clothing reseller. And obviously when you're a clothing reseller, you are looking for all kinds of pieces in all different sizes and all different like styles. So this is why I'm like, why would you say this to somebody? So I was like, oh, I found one too. And he's like, yeah, let me see. So I dig in my cart. Of course, I stuffed that way down. So I find it, I pull it out, I pull up this pair of pants, and they're so cool. They're really nice. And I'm holding them up, and he's like, no. And I was like, what? He's like, what size are they? And I said, oh, they're an 8. He's like, no, those aren't going to fit you. And I was like, they're not for me. Like, I'm not buying them for myself. And he's like, oh, okay. And then he's just resumes what he's doing. But it's just things like that. Maybe it's just because I'm a woman. I know I have men watching too. Let me know if that would have affected you in the same way it affected me. Like, I know I'm not a size 8, but I also was very clearly not asking him for an opinion on what size I wear or what size I am. So it was just a really weird situation, and then it just made me feel kind of bad. Like, oh, so he's just gonna look at me and say, oh yeah, you're too big for that. But like, when I clearly was not asking him if he thought I would fit in it, maybe this isn't making sense. Maybe this wouldn't affect you in the same way, but it definitely did not make me feel great, to say the least. I just was like, oh, okay, cool. Like, it definitely was one of those times where I was just like, wow, I would literally never have said that to anyone. Like, even if somebody was asking if I thought it would fit, I would make sure to say it in a kind way, and like, only if they were asking me, and then I would be honest and be like, I don't know, maybe it looks a little small, but maybe it would work for you. I'm not sure, I don't know your size, something like that. But also definitely was not asking him that. So that's just one time something like that has happened to me. And that's probably the worst time. That was probably the time where I felt the worst about myself afterward. But another time, I was at Last Chance, actually. I only have been there once. It's in Chicago. It's like a Nordstrom rack outlet, which is really cool. I actually just sold a dress. I picked up a dress there for $60, which is a lot, and I just sold it yesterday for $200, so that was a great sale. But while I was checking out, I had that dress, which was in my size, and then 2 pairs of extremely small Free People and Madewell jeans that were like $4 or $5. Like, it was a great price, so I picked them up to resell. And the lady checking me out, this is weird for me too. Another cultural barrier. So I don't know if because they were from a different country, they had a strong accent. Both people have so far. So I mean, I've spent 4 months of my life in South Africa, and in African culture, like, not being tiny or like having curves is good. And so I don't know if it has something to do with it, This lady was not African, but when I was checking out, she was looking at those jeans that I had found. They were probably like a size 0 or something. And she looked at me and said, "Oh, wow, you got a really good price on these." I was like, "Yeah, I'm so excited about them." And then she's like, "Are they for your daughter?" And first of all, I'm like, I'm 20, at this point, I'm 26. And if I had a daughter old enough to be wearing those jeans, I would have had to have her probably when I was like 10, maybe 15, 16. So then I'm like, first of all, how old do you think I am? And then second of all, I'm like, why would you ask that, you know? Maybe it's just me where I'm just like, why would you ask if this is for your daughter when it's clearly like a brand that makes things for, you know, women and teenagers? I'm not sure. I guess that's not as bad. That's definitely not as bad as the first one, but it's still something I've remembered because it didn't make me feel great. And maybe I don't think I'm being too sensitive. I think it's fair to feel the way I'm feeling for sure. And I feel like this happens to us a lot as resellers. Maybe it's just me because I am not like a tiny person. I'm 5'10", and I grew up in the Midwest, and like, I'm just never going to be tiny, and I'm okay with that. I'm not meant to be. Even when I've been at the smallest I've ever been in my life, I've still been like a size 12. Even when I'm like super in shape and very fit, and I'm okay with that. Like, I'm just not built to be tiny. So I feel like maybe, I'm hoping it's not just because I wear like a size large, extra large, that people are saying these things to me. I just hope they don't say these to people in general. Like, I don't understand the thought that you can be able to speak into somebody's life like that when you don't know them. But also, people are probably not as sensitive to that kind of topic or that issue as I am. I definitely have had a lot of experiences in my life where I have had friends with eating disorders. I have had friends go through so many different things and help them walk through those things. And so for me, to hear anybody say that to somebody else, like, I don't struggle with those sorts of things, but knowing that other people do, and to hear you say that to anybody just randomly that you don't know, like, I wonder what they say to people that do struggle with that. And I don't think that that's okay. 'Cause I have seen people walk through really strong just eating disorders and just things like that. And it's not okay to say things like that when you don't know what somebody else is dealing with. So, wow, I didn't mean for this to be so, I don't even know, like a hot topic, or just like, I don't want it to be super, painful to anyone for sure. But man, people say some awful things. I think the last thing that I can think of, and then I'm going to start taking pictures of these pieces. The last thing I can think of is I was at 2nd Avenue one time, and this lady, we were in the dress section, and whenever I go there, I feel like there's always like 20 of us in the dress section, but I was in the dress section with like probably 4 or 5 other ladies. And I usually try to make friends when I'm out thrifting. I just find it to be fun. And one of these ladies near me held up this dress, and it was so pretty, and it was a size 10. And I only know that because she held it up and she's like, "Oh, I don't think this is going to fit me. It's a size 10. And then she put it back, and then I was like, "Oh, can I see that?" And so then she handed it to me, and I was like looking at it. I was like, "Oh yeah, this is good for reselling." I think it was like a Sundance brand or something like that. And it was a reasonable price. So I put it in my cart, and she's like, "Oh, wait, what size was that?" Like, kind of with a face that was like, "That's not going to fit you, honey." And I was like, again, like, why are you telling me that? Or maybe I read too much into it. I don't think so, though. She's like, I think she said next, she was like, "Are you sure that's going to fit you?" And I was like, you have no idea who I'm buying for. You have no idea. I feel like it's hard to look at somebody and say what size they wear. So most of these things that people have said to me that are actually absolutely awful have to do with what size I wear, and it's absolutely atrocious. Like, it's not fun. It's not good. And I'm okay, but definitely it doesn't make you feel great, right? So that is pretty much all of the awful things people have said to me. I think that pretty much covers it. I'm trying to think if there's anything else awful people have said to me. And I know that there are. Oh, like especially this time. This is in a completely different realm. But there is this one guy that goes to the same bins as me. I'm going to take pictures of these shoes while we keep talking because I feel like I'm on a good roll. There's this one guy that goes to the bins, and he resells at a flea market that's close by. So whenever I go there, I call him the mafia boss of the bins, and like, he and I have this feud going. I don't think he knows about the feud, but in my head, it's like a feud, you know? Like, every time I see him, I'm just like, oh, I can't with him. And I can with a lot of people, but I cannot with him. I think he pays people at the bins to find him things, and then he will, like, take them from them and sell them. I've seen him take things out of people's carts so many times, and he's just, like, not the nicest of guys. Anyway, the first time I go to the bins, this is maybe not the first time. I was with my parents. The first time I took them to the bins with me, I was there, I was doing some vlogging, and I had my camera, and I was just out over, like, in the parking lot by myself vlogging. Nobody else was around, and then I saw him, like, watching me, and so I went over, and I got in line with my parents, and he came up to me, and he said to me, he's like, hey, I've seen you doing this YouTube thing. I've seen you do the, like, video thing and stuff. He's like, just be careful with that, and don't you dare ever tell anybody which bins you go to, because I don't want people coming here. And this is a hidden gem, and you need to make sure that you don't let people know where this is. So it was kind of, like, intimidating, especially since, you know, I'm a girl. He's this dude. He's a little, like, rough and ready. He's definitely one of those grungy guys. And so I don't know, I felt a little intimidated, and honestly, sometimes a lot of people ask me which bins I go to, and I don't always tell people which bins I go to, because I am a little nervous if I do that, a lot of people will show up, and then this guy's gonna blame me for that, and I don't want to, like, start anything or get into anything. So if I don't tell you, it's because of that. It's a little nerve-wracking sometimes. Like, I'm not that nervous about it, but also, like, I do want to respect the wishes of the people that I go to the bins with, even if it is my arch nemesis, you know? So that's an interesting situation. But those are a lot of the awful things that people have said to me, or just, like, things that I would, like, never, ever say to somebody else. Like, I would never go up to somebody filming at the bins and be like, hey, don't ever tell anybody where you're at, because I don't want to be affected by it, you know? It's really weird. It's an odd situation. And, oh my gosh, why is it so hard to take pictures of the size tags on Nikes on the inside? Oh my gosh. Okay. I think I got it. So, yeah, those are some things that have happened to me recently. And some of them aren't as recent. I think the Jean-Paul Gaultier pant situation, I think that happened a few months ago. But again, that was probably the worst thing. I feel like that was worse than everything else. And that's one of those things that still kind of doesn't make me feel great, you know? And I don't even think it's about necessarily him saying something about my size or something, but more so just, like, in general, why would you ever say that to anyone is my thing. And also, especially when you're not asking for any input from somebody at all about the way you look or anything. Like, I don't care at all about this dude. I am happily married. I have a loving family. I'm working on loving myself, and I'm going through a lot of health issues. And so it's just like, why would you ever say anything to anyone about their body when you have absolutely no idea what they're going through, you know? And that's just a reminder to all of us in general, I think, too, to be super aware of how you speak to others, especially when you're trying to give them advice or unsolicited advice, especially. Don't do it. It's not worth it to anyone. So that is kind of how I'm feeling about all those things right now. Now I'm going to move into taking pictures of all these items. I actually just got a new phone, so I have two phones here. Oh no, I took pictures on my new phone. Dang it. I've been trying to incorporate using my old phone for only taking pictures and my new phone for just everything else, because man, I fill up on storage so quickly. So we're going to work on this now. I've got all these things to take pictures of. I'm going to move you up so you can talk with me. And I have a few more things I wanted to talk to you about too. Or I had a question mostly, but I'll talk to you guys about that when I get up there. Okay, so now I'm going to take some pictures of all these items. Maybe I should turn you too so you can see me actually taking the pictures. But the last thing I want to talk to you guys about too is, I mentioned that I'm holding a 27% off my entire Poshmark closet sale. So if you have anything in my closet that you are interested in, all you have to do is bundle that item and I'll send you an automatic 27% off offer. Or you can feel free to make your own 27% off offer and I will accept it for sure. But if you want to give me an offer that's even lower, like, I'll take a look at it for sure. Always accepting reasonable offers. So I'm holding that 27% off sale because Jeremy and I just turned 27, both of us in the last month. So it's kind of just in honor of our birthday, and maybe I'll hold one every year with a new percentage. I thought that'd be kind of cute. So that's going on. But also, I've been doing that to try to increase my sales because I think a lot of people have been having really slow sales. And I know I've shared about that a lot. And I shared about maybe getting a job or a part-time job too. And just talking through, like, the numbers are really down for most everyone, which is really hard. And so while I was trying to do like increasing numbers by doing a couple different means, like I've been using Vendu a lot, and I've also been doing Posture VA, and I've been holding that sale. I also have been looking into doing Whatnot. I know everybody's doing Whatnot. It's like a live auction of different clothing items. So I was thinking about doing that. It's making me a little bit nervous to think about, but let me know. Have you guys bought on Whatnot? Do you guys enjoy buying on Whatnot? And if you haven't heard of Whatnot, let me know that too. But if I did do like a live Whatnot sale where you guys get to come hang out with me and I can sell things to you directly and in person, like you could get to interact with me, would you guys be interested in that at all? Like, I only want to do something like that if I know I'll have like my actual friends and subscribers showing up for me and actually wanting to buy things. If you aren't interested, that's information that I would love to have as well. Like, I would much rather know before I were holding a live sale, like a live feed kind of like auction, than after. So let me know what you guys think about Whatnot. I know a lot of people have a lot of differing opinions, and I'm well aware of that, so I'm not unaware for sure. But if you guys are interested, let me know, because I think it could be fun. I definitely feel like I would have a great time hosting a show like that. I feel like my personality is very like chatty and very like excitable, so like I know I would have fun, but I only want to give you guys content that you want, and that would be definitely interesting. So let me know what you guys think. But now let's take pictures of these items and then get to a listing. Here we go. I'm gonna move you though so you can see better.
I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays, way back a year ago. I've changed for the better this time. I thought I would never be fine. I strive just to say I'm alright, and for the first time in a long time I'm alright. I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays, way back a year ago. I'm not falling, I'll push all my chips and call all in. I'll bet on myself, you keep stalling. I hear destiny and it's calling. I'll keep my head up high through the downs and lows, and we're all going live. Still nobody knows, but I'ma choose what's right and take what comes and goes. And ain't no one in life holding me back no more. I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays, way back a year ago.
So I just finished taking all those pictures, and now I have a lot of things to list. It's about 2 o'clock right now in the afternoon, so even though I've not been feeling great, it's been a pretty productive day, I guess. I actually didn't need my second camera battery, which is exciting. So got all of my equipment here. So yeah, that was kind of the Chatty work with me. I still have not heard back anything about our exchange students, so I'll definitely be keeping you guys informed if we hear something back. We have been calling a lot, and we're not really allowed to go into the office. We found that out, so we've been working with all of our different contacts within our exchange student program that we applied through, and so they have heard from them that they claim they've never heard from us or heard from them. And so it's been a time. It's been a time with figuring out if we're going to be having an exchange student. If we do, you guys will meet her very soon because she should be coming like in a week. So hopefully they let us know soon so we can get prepared. So we're still working on the exchange student. I went to the bins. I've got a lot of things to process from the bins. My mother-in-law will be visiting here to come out and see our new nephew here in a second. She'll be here probably next week, so maybe she'll be in some videos with me. I guess we'll find out. But again, let me know what you guys think about maybe me selling on Whatnot a little bit, trying it out. We'll see how it goes. But also, if you don't think that's a great idea, then let me know. I would love to hear your input either way. And thank you guys for listening to me talk about, everything that I'm going through, everything that I'm feeling, lots of different situations that have happened to me. I always have a lot of stories to share. And it's really exciting for me to actually, have people that like hearing about all these different stories that I have and, just listen to me talk because I love public speaking. I love doing this. It's so much fun for me. So thank you guys for watching. If you guys liked today's video, give it a thumbs up and also hit that subscribe button. But I hope you guys are having an amazing day. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. Until the next video, bye.